Alright everybody, and welcome back to the Gundam Lab. I want to thank everybody who's subscribed to the channel. It's really cool to see 38 subscribers now. I'm working on video number 10 currently. This one should release Saturday morning, so if you're watching this, congratulations, you caught it on the morning it released. If not, thank you for tuning in after the fact and watching the video. Today's episode centered around a comment that somebody made on one of my videos before when I did I think the build video was around Absolute Carnage or the 1 Year War deck guide, and somebody left a comment, why not do a video on CB, because I have a CB deck built and I don't use it very often, and so I figured why not show y'all what I came up with. I tried to make it for GDO5. I played it in a couple of locals with it. It did not perform. It just cannot keep up with the current meta. But in GDO4, it did pretty well. It wasn't the best, but it did pretty well. So let's go get into the build. This is my take on Celestial Being for the Gundam Card Game. We'll go command structure first, then unit, bases, and pilots, right? There's not a whole lot here for command structure. It's airframe seizure and widespread annihilation. Why the airframe? Because you want to pitch it to the trash. Why do you want to pitch it to the trash? We'll get to that in a minute. But you want to be able to filter your hand too. CB, the deck is great, but it's also notorious for breaking your hand. You're going to pull stuff you don't want to see either really early or way too early or never. So you want to go ahead and filter your hand as much as you can and dump stuff into the trash because it's part of the deck. The widespread annihilation is in a one-off configuration. Why? Because you want to be able to control the board at level 6. Yeah, you're going to wipe out your stuff. It's going to happen. But level 6, the aggro plays is pretty big, especially when you see the likes of like Zeong and some of the Gundam, like STO1, 001 Gundam at level 4, level 5, or you're going to see those. You're going to see those things. You want to take them out. You want to be able to take out blockers too. Taking out as many blockers as possible on turn 6 is going to be great because you're going to be able to get more swings in or rebuild your board if you've got the hand for it. That's basically why the widespread's there. It's kind of like a contingency play, just in case when you pull it, if you have it, if you see it, you want to use it. Especially if your opponent is going to be running a lot of aggro or a lot of low-end stuff like blockers, the Rigdias, the Flat, the Ilfrith, things of that nature. But don't go any higher than that. I think this deck in the current config that it's in works best with just having as much CB in it as possible. And why is that? Well, because the units feed off of that. So getting into the unit stack, Gundam XE Repaired, that's pretty much a no-brainer, right? You want to be able to use that. It's got it's got Death Touch. You want to be able to use it. You want to be able to see that thing pitch stuff to your trash. Is it unfortunate when it pitches things to your trash? Yes, because sometimes you can pitch the Trans Am mode to your trash. A card you want to see near the end of the game, you could probably pitch one of those, or the Kyrios, or the Trans Am mode of Kyrios. You're going to see some of those things get pitched, and it's going to suck. But the card is great for what it can do. That con or pro, depending on how you look at it, is pretty much worth it. Gundam Virtue. There's not a whole lot to explain here. You're going to have a pilot in play, most likely, so you're going to, on either the turn of or the turn after. So it's going to become a blocker. It's only a 3/3 blocker, so it's basically a Rigdias purple with the fact that you have to have a pilot in play. But it's a 3/3 blocker. Not a whole lot to really say there. It's just a good cheap card. Gundam Kyrios Flight Mode. This card is probably one of the best additions to this deck because it's basically a fling command. It's a 2-drop, level 3, 3 damage fling command into a rescue unit. And they're going to have rescue units because what are we seeing the most of? Aggro. So this is going to be able to swing and take in that Pump Zaku. Yeah, 1 HP, whatever. It's not meant to live. Don't think of this card as something you're going to slap Allelujah on and then run with it. That'd be a waste of a pilot. Could you get the draw? Sure. If you're in a pinch, if you're really in a pinch, could you get the draw? Sure. Do you want to waste the pilot on that card? I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's just me. But in a 3-of, this probably fits really well because you might see this early on. You might get lucky seeing this on turn 3, turn 4, maybe turn 5, where it's going to have a little bit of that impact. So you've got a blocker that's out there that's rested. You can swing into that, deal that last 3 damage you need to, hit that Rig Diaz for 3, hit that Zaku 2, whatever, take out a unit. That's what it's for. Moving on to that idea, which is Gundam Exia. That 2-1 Gundam Exia that deals 2 damage to a 2 AP or lower unit. This is a pretty big deal too. You don't want this in a massive configuration. You don't want this in a 3-of or a 4-of anymore. Because late game thing just kind of sits in your hand. It doesn't do anything. And then when you play it, it's most likely getting taken out the turn you're playing it. So in the 2-of configuration, in the current meta, it probably sits in this spot really well. I would not change that. It's a great card. You know, if you see it early, it's perfect because those Zakus are going to come out. They're going to come out fast. You're going to want to take care of those. That card is going to allow you to do that, especially at turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. If you can see them. If you don't see them, use them to pitch with the airframe seizure, whatever, right? Especially if you see them too late. Then we get into Gundam Kyrios. This is probably like the staple of the deck. Right, this is going to be the staple of the deck. It's going to be your draw engine. You're going to want to protect the hell out of that card. You want that draw engine to maintain itself every turn. You want to be able to swing into something, deal the damage, look at the top card of your deck. Is it CB? Yes. Reveal it, put it in your hand. You want that ability every turn. You do not want that card to die. Will it die? Probably, but you want to protect it as much as you can. And overwhelming pressure in the right spot can take it out. Battle of Aces, close combat can take it out, but they're going to be wasting 2 commands to take out 1 card. So there's a lot of negative value there for the opponent when they take out this unit if they try to take it out. And the first strike, I was going to move into Exia, but the first strike, totally forgot about that. That's important, right? That allows you to trade positively. That's just a really good base effect that not a lot of cards just have without some other stipulation. This one, yeah, you gotta pump it, you gotta link it, but you know you're going to anyway. It's going to become a 5/5 upon actually it's going to become what, a 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5/5. You know, when you swing with it, it's going to take out just about anything. Then you got another rescue unit on board. It's going to go 7/5, then a 9/5, then an 11/5. And it's going to maintain that until the following turn. So whatever swings at it, it's going to die. So no matter what, the opponent's losing 2 cards or 2 units against that one Kyrios. It's still good value. Now we'll move on to Exia. The ST Exia, the card that disappointed the hell out of me on the starter event release. I played Celestial Being, or I forget what it was, but I played Celestial Being during the starter release because I knew that there was a better deck than Hathaway's Flash or Flash Radiance. But this card disappointed me. Why? Because its introduction was a really cool introduction in the show, and I expected this card to have some kind of high mobility first strike or something, not what it currently does. However, I've grown accustomed to what it currently does because it's a pseudo draw engine, right? You play it out there, you put Setsuna on there, you pitch 2 to the trash. If one of those is CB, you draw a card. Yeah, you're pitching 2 to the trash again, but you're filling that trash up, which is what you want to do, especially with CB. Then you have yourself a 6/5 that can swing into just about anything, a 7/5 when it swings with Setsuna. So it's not a bad, in this current configuration, it's not a bad card. It's just when it first came out, I was very disappointed with this card. Not a lot of people really ran it. I think Purple Red and CB's become probably the stronger of the two when it comes to Red Green. I think Purple Red is slightly stronger. That's again my opinion. If you hold a different one, that's up to you. Gundam Kyrios Trans Am. This card is basically the Kyrios, but bigger, guaranteed to be a 7/5 no matter what. Gets first strike with Allelujah, Haptism attached to it, and it becomes a monster. It becomes hard to deal with. It becomes something that they have to deal with because, again, that becomes your draw engine in the later game. And the opponent doesn't want to see you have a draw engine in a later game. Why? Because you're going to continue to have hand presence. You're going to continue to be a threat. You're going to continue to start taking out their units, and they're not going to have anything to do about it, so they want to get rid of that card as fast as possible, so they're going to try. Which leads into the following card, the GN Armor Type E. That card is going to be your blocker to block against threats for the Gundam Kyrios Trans Am or regular Gundam Kyrios. You're going to want to use that card to block. You want to protect the Kyrios. You want that card to be protected. You don't want to lose it. You want that draw engine every single turn. Are you going to get it all the time? No, but you want to see it every single turn that you can. Much like Barbados' first form, you want to see the Kyrios in the Trans Am form or the regular giving you that draw advantage every single turn. It's important. That's how you keep your hand size in this deck, because everything about this deck pitches shit to the trash. The next unit is Gundam Exia Trans Am. This is probably my favorite unit out of this whole deck, next to Kyrios. Why? Because it basically lets you get rid of a unit for free, an opponent's unit for free. Granted, you have to have 10 CB and trash, hence Minerva, hence Airframe Seizure, hence Gundam Exia, hence Gundam Exia Repair. You're going to have the trash. You're going to meet that criteria well before this card hits the board, and that's exactly what you want. You want to be able to control the board state enough to where when this card comes out, the opponent has 1, maybe 2 units. What's also important about this card is that it has suppression by default. You get to swing suppression with it every single time you swing. Every single time you swing, and you got 10 in the trash, which you always will after this point, you'll be able to then choose to destroy a unit on your opponent's turn, on your opponent's side of the board. Anytime they lay something down, you swing with this following turn, it's gone. Once they start top decking and they have nothing to play, you're going to be able to eliminate a unit every single turn until the game's over, and that's important. If by some weird chance this isn't happening for you, then you move on to the High Mega Launcher, the Throne Lines High Mega Launcher. The text is very small, even with my glasses, I couldn't read it. It's been a while since I played this, but I chose this card for a reason, because during link it gets suppression. It's just a really big deal because you're going to be able to link it with a very specific pilot. And then during your turn, once per turn, you get to rest 3 units of yours, and you get to deal level 4 damage to a target unit, which isn't the greatest ability, but if you're in a pinch and they got a blocker on board and that's all they've got and you want to get rid of it, I mean, you're going to be able to swing through other units anyway. But if they got multiple blockers or they got something you want to get rid of it, you can do that with this card. I didn't say it was great. It's just kind of like there as a way to deal with something if you need to. But that leads into the pilot, right? Nina Trinity. Why is this so important? Because when you link Nina Trinity to this card, it becomes a 6/7. That thing is huge. That's a big freaking unit. They're not going to be able to just take that out without swinging 1 or 2 units into it, or burning a command card and swinging a 5 AP unit into it. They're not going to be able to. They have to sacrifice 2 cards, or a unit with a pilot and a command card to get rid of. That's 3 cards for your 2. That's still good value. That's good math. You're gonna be coming up on the positive in that one if you set the matchup in that favor of yours. This also leads to the next 2 pilots. These are pretty self-explanatory. Allelujah, Haptism. It allows you to. We will actually get out of this so I can read this card because I need to. During your turn, when this unit destroys an enemy unit with battle damage, look at the top card of your deck. If it's a CB card, reveal it, add it to your hand. With that first strike damage, this becomes very, very important. This card allows you to do so much, have so much utility, and have that hand presence as you need it every turn if you can keep it on board. Use the blockers in the deck. Use the blockers. And if you need a bigger butt on a blocker, put a Nina Trinity on that Gundam Virtue because it becomes a 3/6. Is it going to hurt a lot of things? No. But it's going to be able to sustain a little bit more damage than typical blockers, which is important. The next pilot, the last pilot we're going to talk about is Setsuna FCA. This is probably my favorite character in any Gundam franchise, in any Gundam series. Why am I not playing this deck? It's not competitive in this meta. I love this deck, but it's not competitive in this meta. However, this card is again, it wasn't what I expected this pilot to be. I don't know what I expected this pilot to do, but its ability wasn't kind of where I thought it would go. So this unit gets AP +1 on attack, and if there's 7 more CB cards in your trash, it gets all your units get AP +1 instead on attack, which is kind of cool. But you have to remember, in order for all your units to get AP +1, that unit has to swing first. So if you're making negative trades, or you're in a position where you have to make a negative trade, you're going to lose this. Like, you're going to be stuck. So make sure you're using sets in a way that you can get positive trades. The whole premise behind this deck, if you really paid attention to it, is to pitch crap to your trash. You want to see things go to your trash. That's why the Airframe Seizure's there. That's why the Exia Repair's there. That's why the Minerva's there. That's why the Gundam Exia is there. That's even why the widespread Annihilation's there to some degree. You want to see things get pitched to your trash. You want to see CB in your trash, because you want to be able to proc the Gundam Exia Trans Am mode's ability to destroy an enemy unit every turn. You want to be able to get that +1 AP across the board whenever you swing with Setsuna on top of Trans Am or Exia. You want to see that, or hell, any unit that's attached to, because it's not a during link, it's just on attack, so it can be attached to anything, so you can pair it to anything. But you want to see those abilities pop off. You want to get that extra benefit, because you're going to need that facing some higher end decks, especially when you're facing against like new. You want to see that +1 AP, because you want to swing into that thing and get rid of it. Strike Freedom, you want to see that AP +1, because you want to get rid of that stupid thing. You don't want it around, because that card will wreck this deck. And most likely, if the opponent has 1 in hand and they've already played 1, they've probably got 1 or 2 more sitting in hand too. I've seen that time and time again on MSA. Is I think I've got it handled, they drop another one. I think I got that one handled, they drop another one. It's a battle of nonsense when it comes to Strike Freedom, but it's there. It's a pain. This deck can effectively deal with it, but you have to play smart. Is this deck meta ready? Is this deck GDO5 meta good enough, I guess? And my opinion is no. I don't think this deck is really meant to run in the current meta. Will the green-red version of it do pretty well? I think so. That one's a lot more lower to the ground. Dynamis is going to do a lot better against the smaller units, I think. But this version of this deck, I do not believe it's meant to be in the meta. I don't think it's good enough to be in the meta, which is why you're not seeing it played so much. Do I love this deck? I really do. I love playing it. It's a good deck for me to play for fun whenever NTCs and tournaments are over. This one allows me to just enjoy myself and just not take the game so seriously and kind of relax and chill a little bit. So that's basically the premise of this deck. Throw things in the trash as much as you can, so that way whenever Trans Am gets out, you can start dealing some damage. That's basically it. And it's got like 32 units in this deck, and 4 commands, 3 bases, 11 pilots. That's all it is. That's all it's ever going to be. Now, right now, when GDO6 and GDO7 come out, we don't know what's in store for CV. Maybe we'll see Exia Quanti. Maybe we'll see 7 Swords. Maybe we'll see Double Riser. Maybe we'll see those. We don't know. But I can say right now, again, this deck is not really designed for the meta. It's not going to compete in the meta. Again, the green-red version might. This one probably won't. But that's my analysis of this deck. That's my breakdown of the cards. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And I want to thank the person that commented that I should make this video about this deck, because it is one of my favorite ones. I really do love running this thing. It's a lot of fun to play. It just cannot compete with the hyper aggro that's out there right now, unfortunately. So anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, like and subscribe to like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and I hope you do well over the next week and a half for the NTCs. Get your Benager, get your winter card, or just enjoy having fun with your friends at these major tournaments. Until then, keep on building some rock solid decks. I'll see y'all later. Have a good one.